What is up, guys? This is me, Johnny Cooper64 here with another YouTube video, and it's been a long time since we talked about a new main installment of the Crash Bandicoot series. Months since new details on a new Crash game. We got that picture that Toys for Bob accidentally released in August of 2019 that featured concept art of characters of the Crash series in the background. They later re-released the image but cropped. We then got this mysterious lunar mask from PlayStation's advertisement back in November of 2019, the Sabi and that other guy's leak from December, and now we're here. If you want to hear more details on those three events, link in the description below, but we finally got a new lead on the new Crash game. This new info comes from a Twitter user named The Gamer Revolution, who's supposedly a well-known leaker in the Call of Duty community with lots of Twitter followers and 200k on YouTube. And supposedly everything he's leaked is true. So this is what he says on Twitter. Some Activision games in the works: Tony Hawk Pro Skater Remaster, Call of Duty 2020 codenamed Project Zeus, Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, F2P COD game from SH Games, a PvP Crash game, Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex Remastered. Well, the Tony Hawk remake has been mentioned to be on the works on other people's leaks, and I do believe on the Call of Duty stuff. New installment and Modern Warfare 2 remake that people have been wanting, which isn't the first time that they've released two Call of Duty games in a year. I remember they made Infinite Warfare, which got a lot of hate. They also released Modern Warfare 4, which kind of balanced it in a way. But Activision actually released a COD game Battle Royale, so they're releasing 3 games this year, especially since they have no new IPs. But on to Crash, he said a PvP Crash game and a Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex Remastered. So player versus player Crash game. That was Nitrofield, since you can race and battle against a player, but since Nitrofield has been released last year ago, they're working on a new spin-off Crash game. And as much as I hate to say this, and if this leak is true, this might be a Crash Bash, not a remake. I definitely do not think it's a Crash Bash remake, but I think it's something in that spirit, like a Crash Party game. Since Activision doesn't have many IPs, especially cartoony IPs, they're going to treat Crash as their Mario Bros like Nintendo does, and it's not weird to see them making more than just one installment of Crash for a year. So we're going to get a new main game, a party/PvP spin-off, and finishing the post Grand Prix off from last year's spin-off game, which is Nitrofield. Now, it could be a Crash Party/Bash game, completely new with reworked and longer than the PS1 game, or it actually could be a fighting Crash game. Who knows how that'll work? Maybe like a Punch-Out type of thing, or actually something like Street Fighter, Smash Bros type of style. It's not far-fetched to see them try to make something new with the series, spin-off wise, by doing something like this to test the waters if they should continue a spin-off game like this or drop it in favor for just a Crash Party game. What do you guys think? Is it a Crash Party/Bash game or a Crash fighting game, or somehow a sequel to Nitrofield, which is very early, so I doubt it, but you guys decide. And on to the next controversial part of the tweet in the Crash community, and that is Wrath of Cortex Remastered. Oh god, if this is true, then the series is still stuck in a remaster loop that they seem to only get out of for a little bit. For example, the level in Insane Trilogy and new track/characters in Nitrofield, but then after that they just go back inside that remake loop. So why another remaster? But Johnny, what about Sabi's leaks? Well, Blair, I actually do not think it's a Wrath of Cortex remaster, and someone on Twitter backed it up. It's similar to the concept of Wrath of Cortex. Now, this guy's Twitter bio shows all leaks I cover are subject to change and or misinterpretation, especially data mined info. So his leaks can change or are misinterpretation. I think that's the one. And Jump Button enforces this by tweeting this: I ain't got much solid info on a new Crash game beyond what is publicly leaked by much more well-connected people, which is Sabi, I guess what he's referring to, but I am pretty sure that someone heard the new game has masks and a Cortex focus, kinda like if certain aspects of Wrath of Cortex were reimagined and turned it into Wrath of Cortex remake. So yeah, I think since according to the December leaks by Sabi and that other guy, the masks are a huge element to the new installment, like the lunar mask we saw in the ad, you know, and in Wrath of Cortex there are masks which are integral to the story. So the guy probably got the info from someone who thought it was a remaster or a reimagine of Wrath of Cortex because of the similar plot, but in reality, hello, this is me after the editing. So I remember Activision said that they were willing to do reimagines of games on a conference call back like last month ago, if I'm not mistaken, when they announced the whole mobile thing. Well, they didn't actually announce it, it was leaked. This could actually be a reimagine, and reimagine isn't certainly like a remake. It is like a remake, but to a much greater extent. You know, we can can say like Ratchet and Clank from the PS2 game, the original, and then there's the PS4 one. They're very drastically different, but carry a similar plot, but it's all very different though. So this will actually be a Wrath of Cortex Reimagine, which will change everything, but still kind of keep the same basic plot. It's a new installment, and that is what I think happened, because Sabi and that other guy's leaks matched up with both saying it's a new game and not a remaster, and also masks are a huge thing in the game and Cortex is playable, which he wasn't in Wrath of Cortex. But for some reason, if it is a remaster, I am worried for the series' future since we haven't had a new game in forever, and this remaster will still sell a lot since people outside the series who don't hate the game will buy it since it was their first game they bought on the PS2, and there's a lot, trust me. Even famous voice actors or actors in general replied to a PlayStation 20th anniversary tweet that said, "What was your first PS2 game?" and they replied with Wrath of Cortex. But I'm not trying to say I'm okay with Wrath of Cortex remaster. I don't think it's happening, and the guy was just misinterpreted with the similar plot to the new installment. But this does back up that Activision is still releasing a new Crash game with another spin-off game in the works. So in a way, this just enforces a new Crash game, and this actually somewhat confirms another spin-off game is on the works. And I don't think it's the mobile game, so I guess 3 games are going to be released this year, which is new installment, spin-off, and a mobile game. And I think both will release this year, one in the summer and the other during the PS5 launch, which will still be available on the PS4 since Activision is going to get that double cash now. And the mobile game, maybe next month, who knows? I don't even know. And no, the coronavirus isn't delaying the game, but it might have delayed an announcement if Activision was announcing it on E3, because for those who don't know, yes, E3 2020 is actually canceled. They tweeted yesterday saying it was canceled because of the whole coronavirus situation, so companies are going to get their own live stream to show their new games, and Activision might do it earlier than June. So we might get an announcement on April or May. So this whole thing might be good in the end, who knows? And then final news to tie up all this with a bow is that Debbie Derryberry tweeted this on Twitter that showed both her and Lex Lang hanging out with the captions saying, "Coco and Dr. Neo Cortex meeting outside the game. Always a good time goofing around with my pal Lex Lang. Hashtag voice actors and all that stuff." And also a picture of Lex Lang showing him doing some voice acting in a similar time as that tweet. So I guess he's inside Activision Studios or Binox or whoever's making the game, and he's voicing Cortex. So this definitely means they're voicing their characters in a Crash game, and we definitely know 100% a new Crash game or a Crash game is coming in general. But anyways, what are your thoughts on a new spin-off Crash game? What do you guys think it might be? Do you guys think it's actually a Wrath of Cortex remaster or a misinterpretation for the new installment we got the info from back in December? Which I think it's definitely a misinterpretation, but let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.